Top stories tonight. Nigeria's House of Representatives invites Lokpobiri, Ekpo and Kyari over fuel scarcity. Lawmakers trade words over sitting arrangement in Senate. Ohanaeze demands action from Southeast governors over herders' attack. First migrant from UK sent to Rwanda in historic move. Thank you for joining us. I'm Felicity Ezewike. Let's begin by telling you that the Nigerian government has declared Wednesday, May 1st, as a public holiday in commemoration of Workers' Day. This was announced in a press statement signed by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, on Tuesday. According to the statement, the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, conveyed the declaration emphasizing the importance of excellence, efficiency, and fairness in labor. Tunji-Ojo reiterated President Bola Tinubu's administration's dedication to fostering innovation, productivity, and inclusivity in the workplace. The House of Representatives has passed a resolution to invite the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Heineken Lokpobiri, and his counterpart for the gas sector, Ekpo, over the fuel scarcity being experienced in the country. The Green Chamber also summoned the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, over the petrol shortages in the country. This followed a motion of urgent national importance by a member of the House, Umar Ajilo, raising concerns over legal queues at petrol stations nationwide. The House expects the ministers and the NNPCL boss to explain the true reason for the scarcity and the measures put in place to bring it to an end. No date has been set for the engagement. Let's also tell you that the Senate has resumed plenary after 6 weeks of recess in the newly renovated hallowed chamber, opened over 2 years after the reconstruction began. Shortly after the regular announcement by Senate President Godswill Akpabio, a heated argument ensued between some ranking members over sitting arrangements. 3 senators engaged in heated arguments. Danjuma Goje, a 4-time ranking senator representing Gombe Central, and Sahabi Yao, senator representing Zamfara North, expressed displeasure over the back seats assigned to them and complained to the majority leader, Opeyemi Bamidele. According to the standing rules of the upper legislative chamber, senators sit according to ranking. But the arrangement the aggrieved senators met fell short of their expectations.
Generosity for the common good of all. Throughout history, the spirit of cooperation has brought about tremendous progress. Let us pool our resources, our talents, our ideas, whilst respecting our differences and convictions of conscience. At the same time, let us not forget those trapped in the cycle of poverty. Our fight against poverty and hunger must be total and relentless, addressing its root causes and restoring dignity to the marginalized. His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, and many fellow Nigerians are working tirelessly to tackle this issue of poverty. It is our duty to support and amplify their efforts. So we must all collectively across party lines support the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President.
We're going to discuss the rowdiness experienced today at the Senate. The speech by the Senate President came after that behavior that some persons have described as unsavory. I am now joined by public affairs analyst Azim Salako. Azim, thank you very much for giving us your time. After 40 days of being away on Easter and Salah break, they are welcomed into the renovated hallowed chamber, and what we are greeted with as citizens is quarrels over sitting arrangements. Did you happen to see the video, and what were your initial thoughts?
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can, sir. Go ahead.
Very well.
I'm sure we can hear you all.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can all hear you. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you. Unfortunately, we are on an international television because it demands that we discuss current affairs. But it is embarrassing that we are here, we are gathered here talking about uh, what I would describe as a show of shame of amongst those who usually are fond to describe themselves as distinguished senators, being enthralled in what I also consider to be an infighting amongst the APC senators, because it is important for us to put the matter beyond concepts into context, so that we can be able to make a good sense out of all that has happened. Uh, just like you mentioned while you were making your introductory remarks, you said 3 senators trade words over sitting arrangement. But it is instructive to note or call your attention and the attention of Nigerians to the fact that the 3 senators, in fact, about 5 senators who were involved in that in that rumpus are members of the All Progressive Congress. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, whom Senator Sahabi Yao actually interrupted, in fact, disrespected his seat, he is a member of the APC. Senator Yao himself is a member of the APC. Senator Ganjuma Goje, who actually retorted to Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele, both of them are members of the APC. And of course, the man who is also the chairman, Senate Committee on Services, is also a member of the APC. So it is important for us to understand and to put it into proper context, that it is not just a fighting amongst senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but an infighting among APC senators.
Isn't there a better way? I mean, I know we need to talk about this because it happened on national TV for everyone to see. Isn't there a better way this could have been handled? And what is your assessment of the leadership provided in this instance by Godswill Akpabio? We understand that they went into a closed-door session afterwards.
I was going to conclude by, trying to guide our analysis and our understanding of what has just happened beyond the surface. So I just paint a picture of an infighting amongst APC senators, and I was just going to talk about what happened, if we recall, sometimes in March, when a senator from Senator Abdullahi Jubri, I can't recall his name at the moment, who actually made allegation against the Senate House on budget padding. If you just juxtapose these two together, you will realize that it seems to me that the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, has lost the confidence of members of the majority of the members in the Senate. And so there's a need for us to really put that into context, so that the Senate will, as a body and also as an organization, will see into this matter beyond fighting over seats. I am seeing something more. I'm seeing something beyond what has just happened on the surface. I'm seeing the fact that the leadership of the Senate, I'm talking in person of Senator Godswill Akpabio, seems to be losing the trust, the confidence, and the backing of members of the Senate. And
okay, as somebody who analyzes, we're time pressed.
The productivity and what we expect from the Senate.
Azim, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we're time pressed. So I'd like you to speed up and talk about, I mean, you watch things happen. How do you think that the Senate can come back from the seeming distrust that is growing among Nigerians about their handling of affairs that have been put in their charge? What should be their priority now?
Of course, what should be their priority is about, there are lingering crises plaguing the development of Nigeria. The rowdiness that has just happened in the Senate is also happening nationwide at different fuel stations. So I think that should should attract the concern of the Nigerian Senate, instead of doing what we usually find amongst the kids. So I think what the Senate should be concerned about at the moment is on how to address the critical issues affecting governance in Nigeria. One of them is the ongoing fuel scarcity. Nigeria cannot afford to be producing oil and yet suffer to access it. It's embarrassing, and I think these are matters of serious and national concern that should attract the attention of the Nigerian Senate, instead of engaging in such an embarrassing
I guess I should quickly point out here that the House of Representatives have invited the leaders, the Minister of State for Petroleum and the NNPC. I'd like your quick thoughts on their summoning of these individuals. This is not the first time we're hearing asking the ministers to come and speak on what is going on in the country. Do you expect that this summoning will have any impact on the specifically growing fuel scarcity and the immediacy of a response from that meeting?
Okay, thank you very much. My network is crappy here, but I hope that you hear me. I think it is timely that we are having the legislature engaging the members of the executive. In matter of this, it will be 1 year that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was sworn in as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I think it is very, very important for the National Assembly, the members of the legislature, and of course, Nigerians generally, to start engaging and examining how far the president and those members of this team, his renewed hope team, has gone in addressing the fundamental issues that's affecting the development of Nigeria. Electricity is one of it. Fossil fuel, forex, value currency, infrastructure. There are a lot of them, and I think it should not just stay at those that the members of the House are just invited. It should cut across all sectors that makes our national life, because that should be the focus now. We are giving the president the mandate to govern us, and it is just 1 year that the government had come into existence. So it is very, very key and fundamental that we begin to seek political accountability. And there is no better place it can start other than the legislative house. So I think that it is not that, but I hope that something meaningful beyond rhetorics and beyond just media show off will come out of this process of
all right, Azim, thank you very much for speaking with us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Let's get further perspective, I beg your pardon, on the lingering fuel scarcity in major cities across Nigeria. We just heard from Azim. Let's hear again also from a public relations officer for the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Chinedu Okadike. Chinedu, thank you very much for joining us. I don't know if you got a part of what Azim submitted, but calling ministers to come and speak on the situation of fuel in the country, do you expect that that will diffuse the annoyingly biting fuel scarcity immediately? Your perspective on the summoning, so to speak, of the ministers. We don't know exactly when they're going to the House of Reps, But what will their appearance achieve in diffusing the biting fuel scarcity?
Well, these are policies of government, and these are legislators who also want to understand both the remote and the direct causes of this scarcity. So hearing from them actually will also address Nigerians with what are the logistics problems that have lingered for a week plus now, and what are the best way to forestall these logistics problems. But most importantly, we should understand that Nigeria is importing petroleum products. We're highly dependent on the importation of petroleum products, and there's nothing less than that. Whatever is the causes of this fuel scarcity might also be linked to inadequate supply, or either from the source or logistics problem, according to NNPC, because maybe there's a lot of maybe there's a ship vessel problem, or maybe there's a supply problem. So there's a kind of a breakdown in the chain of supply.
Okay, you are in the thick of things, Ipman. What can you tell us about the situation and what you are doing to help alleviate the concerns of Nigerians? How soon do we expect this to stop?
Well, like I said earlier on, with independent marketers, we are the last chain in the breaking of the bulk of petroleum products. And we're always ready. We are service-oriented. We're always ready there to sell. Our filling stations are open. We can even offer a service of 24 hours if we have adequate supply of petroleum products. When there is insufficient supply of petroleum products, this is when you have this scarcity and this kind of profiteering and marketing. So as very, very committed and service-oriented, I still want to tell you that we are ready. We are bound ready to ensure that we deliver services to the country, and also kind of also make some little profits from our businesses, because we're heavily invested. So if we don't have product to sell, that means we are out of business. So we also are feeling that NNPCL should, in all this way, since they say that the vessels have arrived, and anyone from now, will be pushed down, and everywhere will have products. So we are ready. Our trucks are there to load, and once loading starts, you will see that we will swing into actions. Products will be everywhere, and this issue of long queues in the positions will disappear.
All right, thank you very much for speaking with us. We appreciate your time. We're on a short break now. The news continues right after. Do stay with us. The Igbo Social-Cultural Organization, Ohanaeze, has strongly condemned the recent attack by herdsmen in the Nimbo community, Uzowani local government area of Enugu State, which resulted in the death of 4 persons. In a statement on Tuesday by Secretary General Mazi Okechukwu Isiguzoro, Ohanaeze describes the killings as a heinous and deliberate assault on its people, particularly those living in boundary communities. The group refused to accept that the attacks were mere coincidences following the lamentations of the Northern Elders Forum over similar incidents. Ohanaeze called upon the Southeast governors, the Inspector General of Police, and other relevant security agencies to launch a thorough investigation into the renewed killings, stating that the lives of Southeast residents, especially vulnerable farmers in rural areas, must be safeguarded. Local government is the third tier of government in Nigeria, closer to the people at the grassroots level. In order to achieve this, there must be elected council administrators to run the affairs of these council areas across the country. Even though this has become a selection process in many states, News Center's correspondent Austin Azu x-rays the next local government elections expected in the 25 local government areas of Delta State.
Almost 2 months after the elected local government chairmen and councillors in Delta State, South Nigeria left offices, the political atmosphere seems charged for the next local government elections. The state governor, Sheriff Oborewori, at the PDP Delta Central stakeholders meeting held at his Osubi country home, ruled out imposition of candidates in the forthcoming local government elections in the state.
A popular candidate that will have a voice, that will have a say, that will have control, that they know love, they will listen to. It will make all our elections to be easy. But when you go and impose somebody on the people, that's where you have problem. But I want to tell you, nobody will be imposed.
In the same vein, Chairman of the Delta State Independent Electoral Commission, Chairmen and secretaries of registered political parties, critical stakeholders, including the Nigeria Union of Journalists in the state, converged here on Asaba to brainstorm on the next council polls.
It's more of a request.
The DSEC chairman, who briefed the stakeholders on the progress made so far towards the conduct of the 2024 local government elections into the various vacant offices of the 25 local government chairmen, vice chairmen and 500 councillors in the state, said the commission would soon come up with a timetable for the conduct of the election. Also, the Delta State Electoral Umpire revealed that the commission would be embarking on an elaborate voter education campaign to sensitize the people towards exercising their civic responsibilities in choosing their local government chairman, vice chairman, and councillors.
2024 local government elections are imminent. So this meeting actually is to prepare their minds, to prepare them against the date of elections, which will be announced soon.
At the end of the stakeholders meeting, there's already assurance by the DSEC chairman to conduct free, fair local government elections in the days ahead. However, mosquito campaigns are already going on at the various local government levels ahead of the elections. In Asaba, Delta State, for News Central, Austin Azu.
Abia State government says it has constructed several roads in less than 1 year in office. Commissioner for Information and Culture, Prince Oke Kanu, stated this during the press briefing in Umuahia. News Central's Chinwe Ugele tells us more.
Abia State government, under the leadership of Governor Alex Oti, placed priority on road construction and reconstruction, hence the number of roads it's able to complete before 1 year. Prince Oke Kanu, Commissioner for Information and Culture, who gave assurances of more improved infrastructure for the state in the future, was not forthcoming with the value of the roads completed or under construction.
So some of these roads are ongoing. So it would not be nice now to give you figures that may be ordered tomorrow and people start wondering what happened.
The Deputy Chief of Staff, Chinedu Ekeke, and Commissioner for Lands and Housing, Chaka Chukwumerije, also defend his position.
Ours is a transparent government.
So yes, we published it and you can rely on the figures.
The publication shows that the sum of 89.7 billion naira was budgeted for works in the 2024 budget, and by the end of the first quarter, a total of 25.07 billion naira only had been spent. He said within a short period of time, things have changed remarkably in the state.
11 months ago, that His Excellency Dr. Lex OTOFR promised Abians that he was going to rebuild the state. And you will agree with me that it's been 11 months of power-packed performance by this administration.
Some citizens of the state who spoke to News Central TV expressed joy at the number of roads under construction and those completed.
I really appreciate the effort of the governor. Most of the roads here, we can see the upliftment going. A lot of it, I really appreciate his effort.
The roads there are under construction. And as I proceeded to Umuahia, the state capital, I'm happy development I've seen. The last time I came here, the roads were very rough. There were potholes here and there.
I'm very much comfortable by sampling. If I sample it, the ones he has done so far will now tell you that he has more to do.
So, giving you kudos for putting all those roads in order within the 1 year in office.
They are, however, calling on the governor to also take his infrastructure development to the hinterlands. In Omaha for News Central, Chinwe Ugele.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has apprehended suspected members of a cybercrime syndicate. The suspects were paraded at the FCT command in Abuja allegedly impersonated the FCT commandant and other citizens for fraudulent purposes, including online scams and fraudulent activities. News Centre's Joshua Imarayi completes this report.
9 months after the FCT command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps issued a public alert about a fake Facebook account impersonating the Commandant General of the Corps, the command has successfully apprehended the alleged masterminds behind the fraudulent account.
One of the suspects, Emmanuel Ushiudep, who was the first to be apprehended by my men after being lured into Abuja, made a very useful confessional statement, which led to the arrests of Henry Uche, his elder brother, who incidentally had the phone used to operate the fake Facebook accounts on him at the point of arrest in Delta State.
Parading the suspects, the commandant listed the items seized from their custody.
The items recovered from the suspects include Money Point POS machine, OPay POS machine, one each, Techno Spark 10 phone, 1, Techno POP8 phone, 1, Infinix phone, 1. However, investigation is ongoing. When it is concluded, they will be prosecuted according to extant law, and we believe that appropriate sanctions will be meted on them.
Sounding a stern warning, he cautioned those engaged in cybercrime to desist from their nefarious activities.
I want to use this opportunity to warn all cyber criminals who specialize in defrauding people of their hard-earned money to find legitimate trade or legitimate source of income to do, because sooner or later, the long arm of the law will catch up with them.
With this latest arrest, the command, in collaboration with other security agencies, is reaffirming its commitment to combating criminality and ensuring peace and security for all. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarayi.
Coming up, affected workers call for help amid sudden job loss at Landmark Beach. We'll tell you more after the break. Do stay with us. If you've just joined us, you're watching Tonight. A reminder of our top stories. Nigeria's House of Representatives invites Lokpobiri, Mele Kyari over fuel scarcity. Lawmakers trade words over sitting arrangement in Senate. Ohanaeze demands action from Southeast governors over Headers attack. First migrant from UK sent to Rwanda in historic move. Let's now tell you that workers at the demolished Landmark Beach have recounted their losses following the planned construction of a new Lagos to Calabar coastal highway. The beach suffered a demolition of the major structures which were tagged illegal, leaving the tourist sites in the history books. News Centre's Adeshewa Odushoga reports.
First, it was a relaxation site with a view of the beach and beautiful structures. An investment worth billions of naira. But now some parts of the Landmark Beach are becoming history. One of them is the Breeze Beach Club, also one of the newest, launched barely 4 months ago. Before now, the Breeze Beach Club, which is said to be about a 1 billion naira investment, was a full membership club and has, since it was launched, registered over 100 members before the demolition. The beach owners are now left with debts, zero return on investment, and a sorry sight as they watch their investment go down. Business owners and workers here watch as their dreams fade away for the dreams of a coastal highway to come to life. Their workplace is now swiftly transforming into a construction site and their offices into mere rubbles. Workers here are asking, where do we go from here?
It's not easy, and also with my fellow colleague, they face so bad. I have 4 people that I'm feeding: my mom, my 2 siblings, and my son, then my dad, plus myself.
Look at where people see their income. They feed so many people from here. They feed so many people, even the poor in the street. Now look at what is going on. Look at what is happening to a place that someone is feeding from. I feed my mother, I feed 2 of my kids, I feed my family.
During an inspection of the site, the Minister for Works, Dave Umahi, noted that the demolition would only be limited to illegal shanties and structures, and that the highway project would only cost 50 meters off the shoreline. In Lagos, for News Central, Adeshewa Odushoga.
The South African consulate in Nigeria celebrated 30 years of unbroken relationship with Nigeria and South Africa's democracy with an economic dinner in Lagos. The event was attended by investors and business owners from both countries. News Central's business correspondent, Perpetua Fasomi Peter, was there.
It was a double celebration for the South African consulate in Lagos, Nigeria, the nation's 30 years of democratic government and unbroken diplomatic relations with Nigeria. This was celebrated in a feast with business leaders and captains of industry.
Firstly, we are celebrating 30 years of freedom and democracy in South Africa, for which Nigeria and Nigerians have fought so hard and contributed towards. The second one, 30 years of unbroken relations between South Africa and Nigeria.
Speaking on the trade imbalance between both nations, South Africa's Consular General in Lagos highlighted the need for more formal Nigerian investments in South Africa.
Between 1995 and 2022, was it about 27 years or so, the trade balance, for obvious reasons, was in favor of Nigeria. But when it comes to investment, I think we need to engage because South Africa has more companies in Nigeria than Nigeria has in South Africa.
Responding, the Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment in Lagos promised that the state would work towards addressing the imbalance.
I do recognize the imbalance. I think it's very important that we understand the underlying sort of reasons behind that. So I can assure you, and I say it here in front of everyone, that this year we will have a trade mission from Nigeria to South Africa.
Other investors and captains of industry in the room had this to say.
There's many challenges in Nigeria. It's how you manage it and how you actually ensure that challenges doesn't affect your day-to-day operations.
In my sector, in the oil sector, we very much welcome the changes that have happened recently. We very much welcome the recent presidential directives, which is intended to just make the industry a lot more investable.
The government, the CBN in the past years have been funding the discos, and a good number of them managed by the banks and AMCON, they are going to be sold in July. So there's lack of funds, so they need to fund them. And I think if we pay a little bit more and with proper funding of the discos, things will get better.
While the event celebrated a strong foundation of partnership, the discussions also highlighted a key area for further progress. By working together to bridge this gap, South Africa and Nigeria can take their relationship to the next level, fostering mutual economic growth and prosperity. In Lagos, for News Central, I am Perpetua Fasomi Peter.
We're on a short break. The news continues after. The first ever migrant to have their asylum seeker claim rejected is said to have been sent to Rwanda from the UK. The unnamed migrant left Britain on Monday evening and has since landed in Kigali. The man, whose bid to stay in the UK was rejected in 2023, opted to be relocated to the African country for a new life. Departing on a commercial flight, he was given £3,000 from the British taxpayer to relocate as part of the deal set up between the UK and Rwanda. Whitehall was reportedly relieved when the first asylum seeker was transported to the third country without a hitch, dubbed as a successful proof of concept. Let's now go over to a business desk for the latest stories.
Business News in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
On Business Tonight, bank customers are feeling anxious as the Central Bank of Nigeria prohibits mobile money operators, including fintech firms, from onboarding new customers. The Bank Customers Association of Nigeria has expressed support for the CBN's directive. Fintech companies such as OPay, PalmPay, Kuda Bank, and MoneyPoint will be affected by the new directive, preventing them from opening new accounts until further notice. Sources from 3 major fintechs confirmed the development but requested anonymity. The CBN's action is linked to an ongoing audit of the Know Your Customer process of these fintechs, which have faced scrutiny over concerns of money laundering and terrorism financing. Despite attempts to reach the CBN for comment, no response has been received. Away from that, ESCOM has successfully appealed the High Court's judgment that invalidated tenders worth approximately 16 billion rand for maintenance and outage repair services at its 15 coal-fired power stations. The tenders, awarded in October 2021 to Actom and Steinmuller Africa, were the subject of the appeal. The Supreme Court of Appeal dismissed an application by Babcock Ntutoko Engineering to review, set aside, and declare unlawful the contract awarded to Actom and Steinmuller Africa. The judgments followed ESCOM's publication of a request for proposals in August 2018, inviting tenders for maintenance and outage repair services. Babcock's disqualification due to failure to submit a current ISO 3834 certificate was a key point of contention. The CSA ruled that ESCOM's disqualification of Babcock was lawful and upheld the decision to split the tender between Actom and Steinmuller, deeming it rational and based on objective criteria specified in the RFP. In the Horn of Africa, we tell you that President William Ruto of Kenya has expressed confidence that the country will receive a $1 billion disbursement from the International Monetary Fund next month, which will provide a much-needed boost to the economy. Kenya's currency, the shilling, has rebounded from record lows following the successful issuance of a $1.5 billion Eurobond in February, alleviating concerns about a potential default on a $2 billion bond maturing in June. The IMF and World Bank have provided substantial lending to Kenya, helping the country navigate a liquidity crisis. Ruto stated that IMF officials will conduct a review in early May to unlock the $1 billion tranche. And that's all on Business News. Do stay with us. There's still more to come. I am Lekon Onobanjo.
Business News in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Let's head to the sports desk for today's sporting stories.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
In sport, the Nigerian Football Federation says the assistants for the new Super Eagles coach, Finidi George, will be announced as soon as the new head coach makes his choice. The Nigerian football governing body confirmed the appointment of Finidi George as Super Eagles coach on Monday, having also taken charge of the team on an interim basis after the departure of Portuguese coach Jose Peseiro. U.S. men's under-19 coach Michael Insien, ex-internationals Emmanuel Amuneke and Daniel Amokachi have been linked to be Finidi's potential assistant coaches. Amokachi and Amuneke once worked as assistant coaches in the Super Eagles. Former Everton striker was assistant to late coaches Shoaib Amodu and Stephen Keshi, while Amuneke had stint as an assistant coach to Samson Siasia and Augustine Eguavoin. Still talking football, the women's team will finally commence hostilities in this year's President Federation Cup competition at the national level on Wednesday next week, when the round of 32 matches will be played in 9 centers across the federation. Uyo, Enugu, Asaba, Lafia, Ibadan, Benin City, Akure, Auchi and Abuja will host the 16 games. 13 of the matches will hold on Wednesday, while the remaining 3 in Asaba and Benin City will take place on Thursday. Cup holders Bayelsa Queens are up against Bright Future Queens of Enugu at the Uyo Township Stadium,
while last year runners-up Rivers Angels tackle Ekiti Queens in Asaba. Nasarawa Amazons will confront Sweet the Queens from Oyo State in Enugu, while Delta Queens take on Fortress Ladies of Edo in Akure. Meanwhile, the men's round of 64 games will hold on Wednesday and Thursday this week in Abuja, Kaduna, Owerri, Lafia, Oka, Enugu, Benin City, Ibadan, Asaba, Ilorin, Aba, and Kano. The 2 matches will produce the candidate teams for the round of 32. And now move on to foreign football, where former Spain boss Vicente Del Bosque has been appointed to head a new committee that will supervise the country's football federation. The Spanish government announced last week that a special committee would be appointed until the federation holds elections to replace Luis Rubiales. Rubiales, the federation former president, was arrested on the 3rd of April as part of a corruption investigation. Rubiales faces a separate trial for coercion and sexual assault, which he denies, for kissing Yeni Hermoso after Spain won the Women's World Cup in Australia in 2023. Del Bosque led Spain's men to their first World Cup victory in 2010 and followed that up with European Championship success in 2012. And to wrap up sports update, Belgium goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois has been ruled out of Euro 2024 national team coach Domenico Tedesco said Tuesday. Real Madrid's Courtois has missed the entire season with a knee ligament injury and suffered a further setback in March, which required another knee operation. Capped 102 times since his international debut in 2011, Courtois said last December that he was giving up on playing at European Championships in Germany due to his left knee injury. Courtois has been on frosty terms with Tedesco since June 2023 after being overlooked as captain following an injury to Kevin De Bruyne, with Romelu Lukaku instead choosing to wear the armband. Tedesco pointed out that by announcing his decision in December, Courtois had allowed the Belgian staff to prepare other options. That wraps it up on Sports Update, and Favor Itwa. Up next is entertainment.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile. Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Now let's go straight into what's happening in entertainment. Now, The Weeknd, a drama thriller produced by Trino Motion Pictures, is set for its world premiere at Tribeca Festival in New York City from June 5th to 16th, 2024. Directed by Daniel Emeka Ohahi and produced by Uche Okocha, the film follows an orphaned woman uncovering dark secrets within her fiancé's family. It's the first Nigerian film selected for Tribeca without co-production. You know how it is, chosen from the 13,016 submissions and the sole Nollywood entry in 2024. Tribeca, co-founded by Robert De Niro, Jane Rosenthal, and Craig Hakoff, celebrates diverse storytelling forms. The Weeknd stars notable Nigerian and Ghanaian actors and will premiere in the Tribeca midnight section. Amazing. Watch this.
How can you treat them like this?
It's complicated, babe. You need to run away from here as fast as you can.
What are you talking about?
Super amazing for Nigerian film right there. Now, the 77th annual Tony nominations have been announced, with Hell's Kitchen and Stereophonic leading with 13 nods each, following close by The Outsiders with 12 nominations and Cabaret with 9. Now, Stereophonic set a record for the most Tony nominations for a play in the Best Musical category. Hell's Kitchen and The Outsiders compete alongside Illinois' Softs and Water for Elephants. Notable producers include Harry Clinton and Malala Yousafzai, and Softs in the Best Play category. Now, Stereophonics is nominated alongside Jaja's African Hair Braiding, Mary Jane, Mother Play, and Prayer for the French Republic. This year's nominations feature a record number of women directors. Yes, as you can see, Alicia Keys on that one. The award ceremony will be hosted by Arenda Debose and broadcast live on June 16th 16th. The nominations were selected by an independent committee, and the winners will be chosen by 836 Tony voters. A big congratulations for Alicia Keys on that one as well. Well, that's all we can take on entertainment tonight. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll bring you the updates on what's trending. Don't go anywhere.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
All right, moving away from entertainment, the hashtag Jam takes the center stage on our trending stories today. Now, let's quickly give you a brief on what's going on. Now, during a press briefing in Abuja, the registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAM, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, revealed that between April 13th to April 29th, over 1.9 million candidates took the computer-based examination in Nigeria. He disclosed that 8,401 candidates, representing 0.5%, scored 300 and above, while 77,070, that's 4.2%, scored 250 and above, and 439,974, that's 24%, scored 200 and above. Now, the majority of candidates, 1.4 million and 2,490, that's 79%, scored below 200. Now, a lot of reactions were out on social media. So let's take a look at some tweets and how Nigerians were reacting to this situation. I read quickly. Now, this is from at Popular Media. He said 1.8 million wrote jam, 1.4 million scored below 200. This is a big problem and worrisome. A generation that loves shortcuts, dwells in drugs, prefer bangers and quick money and so on. If you can still use your head, you better study well, because education never fades. Yes, that's what he said. Let's check out another tweet. I don't think, okay, this is from at Eddie B. He said, I don't think there's anyone that wrote jam and passed at first try. We all wrote it 2 or 3 times. Bro, speak for yourself, though. But let's check some other tweets quickly. Now, this at Yulzema, let's say what it says. So Nigerians have such one-dimensional view of problems. 80% of students who wrote jam failed, and you are blaming social media and smartphones. Not the fact that your government budget for education is a joke, not poverty, not the UTME system, just straight to smartphones. Finally, let's look at this one. This still from Adibi. He said, watching TV with Pops after failing jam for the 4th time. Pops, pass me the remote there. Me. Yes, sir. Pops reacts. At least you can pass something. Hey! Well, these are the reactions we've gotten on social media as regards the jam situation. Well, that's all for also what's trending tonight. You can share your thoughts as well across social media platforms at News Central TV. I am Edewa, aka the Voice of God. That's all for me. Enjoy.
And that is all tonight. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Nigeria's House of Representatives have invited Lokpobiri, Ekpo, and Kyari over fuel scarcity. Lawmakers traded words over sitting arrangement in Senate. Ohanaeze has demanded action from Southeast governors over Headers' attack. We also told you that the first migrant from the UK has been sent to Rwanda in historic move. Do send your eyewitness report to the number on the screen. You can follow us on social media at News Central TV. You can watch live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Apple TV, and on YouTube. Thank you as always for your time. Good night.